Apocalyptic scenes on the Darling River right now.
It's a cruel, cruel, cruel way to die. It's a cruel thing to watch, and to hear your boat struggling to actually get through the fish that are thick there, and it's hard to explain and describe, and unless you've actually seen it, you probably can never really comprehend it.
The river is usually the lifeblood of outback New South Wales. Now it's home to Menindee's largest ever fish kill.
The fish kill probably extends for 25 or 30 kilometres, so you're looking at 20 to 30 million fish. They're just unbelievable numbers, and they're still dying here now.
And this isn't Menindee's first catastrophic kill. Millions of fish were found dead in both 2018 and 2019 during the devastating drought.
This is your country. We're pretty proud of it, and we can't fight alone. And please, don't forget us.
In 2019, the federal government pledged $70 million to avoid another fish kill disaster.
We're looking at $25 million to farmers to put in meters right across the northern basin, but also $5 million in putting cameras to make sure that we can monitor the water flows as they come through.
The Department of Primary Industries says this latest disaster is due to a heat wave combined with recent flooding that's leached oxygen from the water.
It's obviously a very difficult situation, and we're working very closely with the Menindee community. We will do everything we can to support the community to fix the situation.
But locals are pointing the finger straight back at the state and federal governments, accusing them of failing to manage the region's water quality.
There's no one on the ground. There's very limited water quality being done, and that all falls back into the lap of Water New South Wales, and they've been completely missing in action.
Well, Kate McBride is a Menindee local who's become a huge advocate for her community. She's also a water researcher at the Australia Institute. Kate, good to see you again. What are you hearing from everyone back at home about this?
Oh, this is bringing back a lot of memories from 2018-19. It's absolutely heartbreaking for the community to have to experience this once again. The first thing I actually heard from out in the community on Friday when we saw this footage surfacing was, I think that our river is sending a message a week out from the New South Wales election. This fish kill is up to 10 times as bad as the one in 2018-19, so it's absolutely devastating for the environment once again, and it's going to get worse. This is just the beginning, and we're going to see over coming days, I think, this continue to unfold. And the heartbreaking thing is that there's absolutely nothing that we as a community can do to stop this from getting worse.
And how does it impact the community? Like, what does this mean for people that live there?
So the river is a massive part of life out that way. We all have a massive connection to it, and seeing it in this state is just soul-destroying, and a lot of us have dedicated years of our lives to actually protecting this river and doing everything that we can, and you try, and then when you see footage come out again of the place that you call home and a place that you love, all of a sudden back in that state, it really does hit you right where it hurts. And I was a bit of a wreck on Friday, and I know a lot of our community are right now, and they're living in it. They're having to experience the smell of this again, and you know, also our Aboriginal brothers and sisters out that way as well. You know, the Baaka people, a lot of them, their totem animal is the bony bream, which is what we're primarily seeing dying at the moment, and so it's heartbreaking for them as well as the whole community. It really is soul-destroying, and you know, that's like the human side of it and our connection to the river. But then, of course, you've got the economic side of it as well, the devastating impacts this is going to have on our tourism, but also agriculture right down the river as well. So it's devastating for the community, and yeah, just heartbreaking to see.
Kate, can you shed a little bit more light on why this is happening in Menindee specifically?
So fundamentally what's happened is that there's such low oxygen levels in the water that these fish are dying, and that's got a lot to do with the recent floods that we've experienced and the large amount of organic matter that's in the river. That's combined with a heat wave that's coming through, and during that heat wave the fish need more oxygen, and essentially our river system that was already sort of like right at the brink of collapse, this heat wave has come through and just pushed it that bit further, and so we're seeing just absolute catastrophic scenes coming out of the river. But it really does come back to management. Once again, this is not natural. Water authorities are saying that this is on a scale that we've never seen before, and so this is not meant to happen, and fish kills can occur throughout the basin, and it does happen during wet times like we're seeing now, but on this scale is not meant to happen. So it does come down to the way that water is being managed, and also locals upstream knew that this black water event, or low oxygen throughout the river, has been coming down. they've been warning us for months, and they've been watching it come down, but it's been managed really poorly through those Menindee lakes, and it's continuing to be managed really poorly. So, yeah, it's really, like, we've been let down once again by Water New South Wales and governments in the way that they have their water policy in place as well.
Kate, the federal government pledged $70 million back in 2019. Has this made any difference to the problem? Clearly, you've been pretty affected by what's happened again in your community.
So Menindee in particular was promised a $5 million fish nursery. That's been held up sort of in red tape through a number of different issues, and we haven't seen it. So, you know, we continue to get these promises being made our way, and they sort of never seem to eventuate. The other thing that happened back after those first fish kills, though, were there was a great deal of reports, because people realised how bad it was back then. There were all these reports done to try and get to the bottom of it, and a lot of recommendations made. A lot of those recommendations actually pointed to needing more information and more gauges along the river to actually gauge things like, you know, oxygen levels, so maybe we could have avoided this. A lot of those recommendations weren't acted upon, and now we're back in this similar situation where we've actually got an even worse fish kill occurring. So it does come back to, you know, what are we going to do now sort of thing, because this just keeps happening and we keep getting let down as a community.
Kate, we are running out of time. We're getting the wrap. I just want you to make clear for everyone at home that's watching and for the politicians, for you and the community, how angry are you that this has happened again when you had the warnings?
We've been so let down by particularly Water New South Wales, and we need a full review into what's happening. I mean, the locals have been wading around in floodwater for recent months. You know, we've been cleaning out bloody people's houses from floodwaters, and now to experience this, it's just one extreme to another. And our community of Menindee keeps getting put on the map for these horrible disasters. And we just need people to listen to the community, come out, understand what's going on, and make sure this never happens again. Because I said in 2019 that I pray I never have to see this again. The mass fish kills, and here we are, and it's 10 times worse, and I'm seeing it again only a few years later.
Kate, really sorry that that's the case, but we appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.